World War II was one of the most important events in human history, a time when the world was pushed into chaos, fear, and destruction, but also a time when extraordinary heroes emerged and decisive battles shaped the future of nations. From 1939 to 1945, the war tested humanity's strength, courage, and moral limits. It was a conflict where history was written not only by generals and leaders, but also by ordinary people who rose to meet extraordinary challenges. The war began with the invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany, an act that shattered fragile peace in Europe. Soon, many nations were drawn into the conflict, forming two major sides. On one side were the Axis powers, driven by aggressive expansion and control. On the other were the Allied powers, fighting to stop domination and preserve freedom. As the war spread, it became clear that this was not just a military struggle, but a battle for the future of the world. Heroes of World War II came from all walks of life. Some were famous leaders who inspired millions, while others were unknown soldiers whose bravery was never recorded in history books. Soldiers fought on land, at sea, and in the air, often facing overwhelming odds. Many knew that survival was uncertain, yet they continued to fight to protect their homes, families, and values. Their courage under fire defined what it meant to be a hero. One of the most critical battles in the early years of the war was the Battle of Britain. As German aircraft bombed British cities, the Royal Air Force defended the skies with determination and skill. Pilots risked their lives daily, knowing that defeat would open the door to invasion. Their success marked the first major setback for Germany and proved that the Axis powers were not unstoppable. This battle became a symbol of resistance and resilience. On the Eastern Front, the fighting reached a level of brutality rarely seen before. The Battle of Stalingrad stands as one of the deadliest battles in history. Soldiers fought in freezing temperatures, among ruins and rubble, with limited supplies. Civilians were trapped in the city, enduring hunger and fear. The Soviet resistance eventually turned the tide, forcing German forces into retreat. This battle changed the course of the war and marked the beginning of Germany's decline. In North Africa, desert warfare created its own heroes and challenges. Harsh conditions tested soldiers as much as enemy fire. Control of this region was vital for supply routes and strategic advantage. Victories and defeats shifted momentum back and forth, showing how global the war truly was. These battles highlighted the importance of strategy, leadership, and adaptability. The war at sea also played a crucial role. Naval battles determined control of trade routes and supply lines. Submarines hunted ships across the oceans, while massive fleets clashed in decisive encounters. In the Pacific, aircraft carriers replaced battleships as the dominant force. Battles like Midway changed naval warfare forever and demonstrated the growing importance of air power. Heroes were not limited to soldiers alone. Civilians showed remarkable bravery under constant threat. Cities were bombed relentlessly, yet people continued to work, care for their families, and support the war effort. Women took on new roles in factories, hospitals, and intelligence services. Many became nurses, pilots, and code breakers, contributing directly to victory. Their efforts reshaped societies and expanded opportunities long after the war ended. Resistance movements across occupied Europe added another layer to the conflict. Ordinary citizens risked everything to fight oppression. They gathered intelligence, sabotaged enemy operations, and helped others escape. Many paid with their lives, but their courage weakened occupying forces and kept hope alive. These hidden heroes proved that resistance was possible even in the darkest times. As the war progressed, major turning points brought hope to the Allies. The Allied landings in Normandy in 1944 opened a new front in Western Europe. Soldiers stormed heavily defended beaches, facing intense fire. Their sacrifice allowed Allied forces to advance and liberate occupied countries. This operation showed the power of cooperation and planning among nations united for a common cause. In the Pacific, battles were equally fierce. Island by island, Allied forces pushed back Japanese control. These battles were costly and exhausting, but they steadily weakened the Axis position. The war finally ended in 1945 after immense destruction forced surrender. Silence followed years of noise and violence, leaving the world to face the consequences. The history of World War II is marked by loss on an unimaginable scale. Millions of lives were lost, cities were destroyed, and families were forever changed. Yet from this devastation came important lessons. The war led to the creation of international institutions aimed at preventing future conflicts, and protecting human rights. It also marked the end of old empires and the rise of new global powers. World War II remains a story of heroes, battles, and history intertwined. It reminds us that courage can appear in the most difficult moments, and that ordinary people can shape extraordinary outcomes. The battles fought during those years determined the direction of the modern world, while the heroes who stood against fear and oppression left a legacy of sacrifice and hope. Remembering this war is not just about honoring the past, but about understanding the cost of conflict and the value of peace. The stories of World War II continue to teach future generations about responsibility, unity, and resilience. They serve as a powerful reminder that history is shaped by choices, and that the fight for freedom and dignity is a struggle that must never be forgotten.